Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you are watching this. Today is Friday, March 21st, 2025. I am Catherine Melron, and this is Make It Make Sense. And I wanted to come on here today because we are getting so much bad news every single day with everything going on with this regime. So I thought maybe I would bring some tidings of comfort and joy, as the Christmas song says. So, first thing I want to talk about, if you haven't seen already, Alexandria Ocasio Cortez and Bernie Sanders are currently on a Fight the Oligarchy tour, and they are drawing huge crowds. And this is so encouraging to me. And there was some things that AOC had said that I thought was very profound, and I just want to read some of her quotes from the rallies. I've seen the video of the rally in Las Vegas, and then they had one in Arizona, and so yeah, I really like what she had to say, and so I'm going to read you the quotes here. She said, "For all the big talk that the Republicans and the Trump administration like to flap about working people, if you actually listen carefully, every once in a while, they let the mask slip about what they actually think about us. You know, just last week at President Trump's lawyer, her name is Alina Habba." And then the crowd booed when she said Alina Habba's name. She went on television. Lost my spot here. Hold on. Okay, here we go. She went on television, and when she actually had to be faced with explaining her job, and when she actually had to be faced with doing her job, this is what she had to say. Quote, "What intellectual thought," when she was asked about me, quote, "What intellectual thought? You were in a bar. You were in a bar, AOC, and not to have a drink, but to serve one," she said as the crowd booed again, adding, "I want you all to understand. I don't care what this woman says about me, but thank you. Thank you again. But I want you to understand she isn't just talking about me here. She's talking about you. She's talking about all of us, because the entire job of the president's lawyer is to speak for him. Trump hired her to speak for him. So imagine what it means for our country when the president's own lawyer cannot even conceive of a working class person being intelligent simply because of the job they have." So yeah, that really resonated with me. It's like a nose looking down at the working class, as if no one from the working class has any intelligent thoughts or can become a congresswoman that was a bartender. I love her story, and a lot of people don't agree with some of her policies, and some people don't like her at all, but I adore her, and I adore Bernie Sanders, and I really, really adore what they are doing because they are getting the message out. And so, before I summarize more on that, the other person I want to talk about is my governor, Andy Beshear. I am here in Kentucky. We all know Kentucky is a red state. Andy Beshear is our Democratic governor, and he is very beloved in the state of Kentucky, no matter what side of the aisle that you're on. And he is doing a wonderful job for our state, and we adore him. And he has gotten some notoriety and has been gotten some national attention because he was on the short list as a possible running mate for Kamala Harris. And so he is appearing more on various media outlets. And he did an interview with Ben Marcellus on Midas Touch. And Ben Marcellus was he was fascinated with Andy Bashir, and I just loved his response to that interview as well. He had a lot of good things to say about Governor Bashir. So this was some quotes from what Andy Bashir had to say, and I just chose a few that I thought were very profound and in alignment with the message that AOC and Bernie Sanders are carrying with them in their rallies. And he says, bullying is always wrong. Standing up for people is always right. Hate's always wrong and love's always right. Judging people is always wrong and accepting them is always right. But think, what many are doing is misreading the last election. They're seeing that last and that ad that was played and thinking that the last movable voters voted on that anti-trans issue. I don't think that they did. I think what convinced them is that his opponent was distracted by other issues while he was focused on prices and the economy. And so this isn't an either or. Oh, went too far. Hold on. Sorry. Lost my place. Okay, this isn't an either or. Okay. Sorry. As a stand up for what you believe in, stand up for protecting people, but at the same time, the next day, be there opening a new factory. Be in your community, cutting the ribbon on the new clinic where people are going to be able to see a doctor are right there. Be out there making sure that public safety is improving for everybody. We've got to show people that you can stand up for your principles while at the same time being there every single day for every working family, regardless. This is the type of leadership that is much needed in the Democratic Party. I am happy about the Fight the Oligarchy tour and that Bernie and AOC that they are on, and they are drawing record crowds. This is me. This tells me that although they are described as progressive, which I am totally on board with, they have the right message and it resonates with the majority of Americans. And that is, to me, very encouraging because they are out there talking about those kitchen table issues, the things that real Americans, working class Americans, deal with on a daily basis. And these are the things that we need to be focusing on. And we're facing so much every day with what is happening. And I do want to mention the latest person that information has come out about regarding these people that were kidnapped, basically, and taken to El Salvador. These Venezuelans. So we have found out that one of these people, he had a court date scheduled. It was one day this week, and he wasn't there. And this is how his attorney ended up finding out that he had been taken by ICE. His court date was his final hearing for his green card. He was here in this country illegally. He was obtaining his green card. He is a gay man. He is a makeup artist, and he has tattoos. None of his tattoos are gang tattoos. They are tattoos that you will see anywhere that you go that people have. And, you got to think about these things and as it relates to us and what this could mean for us. Because, he's a gay man and he's a makeup artist and he has tattoos. So this was grounds for him to be removed from our country illegally and then taken to a concentration, basically, camp in El Salvador, in a prison work camp, where he's likely we've heard tell that they're being tortured there. So we don't know what's happening to him. And his attorney hasn't been able to get in touch with him. And of course, he needs to be brought back to this country because he's not a Venezuelan gang member. He wasn't here committing any crimes. He has no criminal record whatsoever. So think about that. Think about how far this could be taken. Take me for example. I have tattoos. Okay, I identify as bisexual, and I'm very supportive of the LGBTQ community. So does that mean that I'm in a gang? Does that mean that that's grounds for removing me from the country and taking me over to El Salvador, or you, or anybody with tattoos that is not aligned with the agenda of the current administration? So you got to think about that, because it seems like that could very well be the direction we may be heading. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm not trying to fearmonger, but when you think about how easily that these people were just removed with no due process, and even if there are people in this group that are gang members or people that were here illegally committing crimes, they still require due process. And none of them were given that. So, and it's becoming obvious too that these people that they've taken, certainly not all of them are gang members or have any criminal records. Like the other person I talked about in my video yesterday, who plays professional soccer for Venezuela and had a soccer tattoo. And he also is here legally and came to the country seeking asylum and was taken and is now in El Salvador as well at this prison camp or whatever you want to call it. So um, just be on alert. Stay woke. They don't like the term woke, and what the term woke means is simply just being aware of what is going on around you and not turning a blind eye to injustices happening to people. That's what staying woke means, and they want to use that word like it's a like it's a bad word, or it's like it's foul language, or you shouldn't say it. Just like they are taking the word, the acronym DEI, as if that's a bad thing. And it's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. There's absolutely nothing wrong with diversity, equity, and inclusivity. And it's just sickening, the message that they are trying to get across in this country, and they are being very successful at it. And every single day they come on television, whether it's the press secretary or whether it's Fox News or whether it's Donald Trump himself, and they lie. They continue to lie, and everything he says is not fact-based, and he exaggerates numbers, and he makes these statements like, oh, there's these criminals and people, and they released people from prisons and asylums, and they're over here committing crimes, and all of that. And it's so ridiculous. And but at the same time, we do have some people working on our behalf that are getting a much more accurate and needed message across to the American people. So I give all the props that I can to AOC and Bernie Sanders for what they're doing. And some other Democrats working hard for us would be Elizabeth Warren and Jasmine Crockett. And that's really all I can think of right now, because I don't know about what the other Democrats are doing, but I know that they need to follow their lead. They need to follow the lead of Bernie Sanders and follow the lead of AOC and of Elizabeth Warren, because they've got the right message and they're getting it out there, and they're standing up for the people, and they're fighting. So I don't know what this is going to mean for the future, but I'm just going to give you my opinion. I think the most dynamic ticket for the next presidential election would be Andy Beshear and AOC. Who's on the top, who's on the bottom, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. But that would be a dynamic ticket right there. It would be a winning ticket for sure. So that's my opinion. But anyway, We do need leaders now, though. We may not even make it to a 2028 election if things keep going the way that they are. So we've got to keep fighting the good fight, stay encouraged, and try to look for the the gold in the in the mess of, or look for the silver lining. Okay, that's what I should say. Look for the silver lining in the clouds, because there are good things happening, and I'm very encouraged by it. So keep it up. Keep it up, everybody. And if you can, please like this video and please subscribe. I'm trying to build my platform, and it's going to take some time as I've become aware. I know it's very competitive, but that really does help push the videos into the algorithm and they get more views. So I really appreciate your support. And everyone have a great Friday.